Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. So today is the first day of our course. 30 days course. We will be learning the 51 important shlokas of the Bhagavad Gita. But please don't think that as I am telling that 51 important shlokas does not mean that other shlokas are unimportant. Each and every verse of the Bhagavad Gita is very much important. Each and every word in the verse is also very much important. We'll see that how that's so important. Even that verse may not be spoken by the Krishna or Arjuna. Totally we see the four people who are speaking the verse. Though one verse was chanted by, spoken by Dhritarashtra, that is first verse. Then there is Arjun. And then there is Krishna and Sanjaya. Sanjaya is the narrator. So before starting this verse, reading our verses and before understanding the meaning of the verse, let us understand the background of the Bhagavad Gita. Let us understand the background of Mahabharata. As you can see in the picture, you see the Dhritarashtra and his minister Sanjaya. So Sanjaya was empowered by the Vyasadeva. Vyas was his guru. So Vyasadeva had benedicted him that you can see the whole war, and then he had also benedicted Dhritarashtra that I can also give you the eyes to see the war. But he said no, I am not interested in seeing war, because he was confident that my sons are going to lose the battle. Right? That's why he said, no, I am not interested in watching the battle. Give someone who can, who can narrate the whole story, whole, battle to me. So that's how the Sanjaya came to the Dhritarashtra to tell everything about the battle. So as we know that, okay, we'll cover the verse later, but let's understand the background first. So there was a Kuru, King Kuru. King Kuru had the son named Shantanu. Shantanu had two wives, Ganga and Satyavati. Right? So from Ganga, Shantanu had the son whose name was Devavrata, who later became the Bhishma. Right? And Shantanu and Satyavati had two kids, two sons. Their name were Chitrangada and other one was Vichitravirya. Right? Satyavati also had married to Parashara and they had given the birth to Vyasadeva. Right? Vyasa. Chitrangada had a premature death. Similarly, the Vichitravirya. Right? So now here comes Vyasadeva into the picture. So Vyasadeva impregnates Ambika and Ambalika. From Ambika, Vyasadeva gets the son whose name was Dhritarashtra. We'll not go into the detail that how Dhritarashtra became blind, and we are not going to the detailed history, right? That how Ambika and Ambalika came. There were each and every detail given in the Mahabharata. We are not going to discuss that. Otherwise, this class will go for 1-2 hours like that. But we are just giving the background so that you can relate to the verse, right? And Vyasa had impregnated Ambalika, who later gave birth to Pandu. Pandu married to Kunti and Madri. From Kunti, Pandu had 3 sons, Yudhishthir, Bhim and Arjun. From Madri, Pandu had 2 sons, Nakula and Sahadeva. Right? And later we know that how earlier Kunti had also one son whose name was Karna. She had a benediction from sun god, and that's how she gave birth to Karna. But then she had to abandon Karna. Why did she did that? That's not a part of this discussion. Anyways, then Dhritarashtra and Gandhari had 100 sons and one daughter whose name was Dushala, right? So Pandu was the king because Dhritarashtra was blind, so Pandu became the king. But Pandu had very less interest in the kingdom, so Dhritarashtra was looking after the kingdom. So Pandu was staying in the forest, but Pandu had the premature death. So he left behind his son Yudhishthira, Bhima, Arjuna. Yudhishthira was the youngest. I mean, he was the eldest of all brothers. So it was his right to become the king. But Dhritarashtra was so attached. And according to the rule of that time, it was told to the Dhritarashtra that you look after the kingdom for some time till Yudhishthira becomes, mature. But Dhritarashtra was holding back that Simhasan. He was not ready to leave that Simhasan. He was very attached. And you can see his name. His name was Dhritarashtra. Dhruta means very attached. Rashtra means nation. He was very attached to the nation. He wanted to rule the kingdom. He was so old. Still he wanted to rule. And he was trying to fulfill his desires of ruling through his son, whose name was Dushasan. Whose name was Duryodhan. So Duryodhan and Dushasan were the cruel amongst the all brothers. So this Dhritarashtra was making so many arrangements to keep Yudhishthira and his 4 other brothers to keep them away from the Simhasan. He was making various plans, but he never came in front and spoke. He always carried out his plans through Duryodhana. So nobody came to know that Dhritarashtra is actually cruel or inimical towards the Pandavas, right? But he was the seed, and Duryodhana was just the fruit of that seed and the tree, right? So the Duryodhana was the main cause of the Mahabharata war, right? Dhritarashtra was the main cause of the Mahabharata war because his asakti, his attachment, he was not ready to give up. It was the right of a Yudhishthir Maharaj to become the king, but he was not ready to give up the Simhasan. He was so attached. That's why this verse comes. The first verse, although he was so bad, although he was so inimical, although he was so envious of the Pandavas and Kunti, still you see the first verse in the Gita, the holiest Gita is by the Dhritarashtra. Right? What he says, Dhritarashtra vacha dharma kshetre kurukshetre samaveta yuyutsavaha mamakaha pandavaishchaiva kim kurvata sanjaya. So what he is saying, what Dhritarashtra is saying, dharma kshetre kurukshetra, on the land of the dharma, Kurukshetra was the land of the dharma. People would come there, the kings would come there to do yagyas, sacrifices, to tapasya. But now, today, it was the land of the battle, it was the battlefield, right? And Dhritarashtra had a doubt. He knew in the heart of his hearts that my sons are the vicious. They are bad. What to say of they are bad? I know, how am I? He knew that I am envious, I am cruel, I have various vicious tendencies, propensities towards these Pandavas, innocent Pandavas. And he knew that this land is very pious. This particular land is Dharma Kshetra, and this is land of sacrifices. So there are the chances that my son may lose the battle. So that's why he is asking, what they are doing. Dharmakshetra, Kurukshetra, Samaveta, Yujusavaha. Samaveta means assembled, Yujusava means those who are desiring to fight. So what did these people do who have come there to fight? Mamakaha Pandavaschaiva, my sons, Mamakaha, my sons, and Pandavaschaiva, Pandavas. Now here you see the interesting word, Mamakaha Pandavaschaiva. Now if you see, it was the responsibility of the Dhritarashtra to take care of the Pandavas. It was the responsibility of him. It was his responsibility to give the throne to the Pandavas. But no, he did not do that. And his enmity towards Pandava is seen in the verse. He is saying, Mamakaha, my sons, and Pandavaschaiva, Pandavas, Kauravas and Pandavas. If you see, just we saw that Kuru Vansha. So it is one Vansha, he should have taken the responsibilities of the Pandavas, he should have taken a nice care of them, right? But no, he was just doing my sons, Pandavas, me and mine. He was just doing like that. His Chaitanya, his consciousness was so poor that he never understood the true meaning of the Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. We are in the Bharatvarsha. What we have taught since childhood, Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, the whole earth is one family, right? But in one family, what he is doing? He is saying, these are the Pandavas and my sons. What did my sons and the Pandavas do? Are Pandavas were also your sons. In one sense, Pandavas were also his sons. But no, he is saying, Mamekam, Kauravas are my sons, Pandavas are not my sons. Kimukurvata Sanjaya. Sanjaya, tell me, what did they do? So there are three reasons for war: wealth, land and women. And in case of the Mahabharata war, all the three reasons were involved. The women, the Draupadi was humiliated in the Asat Sabha. Land were taken, the Indraprastha was taken, wealth was taken, right, from the Pandavas. Now here he is saying, what did my sons and Pandavas do, right? Now this is verse, very interesting verse. Ayam nija paro vetti gananam lagu chetasam. The person who does, ayam nija, ye mera hai, paro vetti, and that is of him. Ye mera, this is mine, that is yours. This is mine, that is yours. So who does that? He is very shallow-minded, small-minded. But the wise believe that the entire world is a family. Udara Charitanam tu Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. And Dhritarashtra is exactly opposite of Udara Charitanam tu. He was not wise at all. So I'll just tell one story. So basically this story tell you that how this attachment, like we saw from the life of the Dhritarashtra, that he was so attached. He was constantly making a plan to kill the Pandavas because he was so attached to the throne. Even after all the sons of the Dhritarashtra were killed, Dhritarashtra was sitting on the throne. And that time Vidur came, who was his brother. He came and told Dhritarashtra, what are you doing? You lost the battle. Now go to the Badrikashram, go to the Himalayas, do some tapasya. Throughout the life you are just sitting on the throne. Shameless guy, you are just eating the food thrown by Yudhishthir Maharaj. And that time, that words made the sense, and he left. So there was one businessman, and this businessman was very attached to the money. Constantly thought of money would come in his mind, and he was just planning, and he was very old, but still he was so attached to money, and he was not at all bothered about dharma, the eternal dharma, that is to do the bhakti. He was not bothered about that. So once one sadhu came to his home, told Bhiksham Dehi, and that time the sons of this businessman told ki, please take my father with you to pilgrimage, we will give you the money. He said okay. So all the sons, they convince father, go now, do some dharma, do some charity, do some bhakti, take a bath in the Ganga, purify yourself. He's saying no. Then forcefully they sent him with this sadhu, and the sadhu took him to various places like Vrindavan, Jagannath Puri. These are Jagannath, Baldev, Subhadra, Rameshwaram. Indian culture is so amazing that everyone has that culture to visit some holy place, right? I still remember when I was young, and my grandfather and I think grandmother had gone to Char Dham Yatra, and then where they had come, they were showing the photos, and I was so happy that I also had a desire, but I was very small that time, like that. I still remember that. And then much later I had gone to those places. So they went everywhere, and finally he was brought to the Varanasi. This is Varanasi, Kashi Vishwanath temple we have here. So he was brought to the Varanasi. So they had a darshan, they had a snan in the Ganges, Ganga, and finally they came to this particular ghat. This is Smashana Bhumi. This is called the Manikarnika Ghat. So in the speciality of the Manikarnika Ghat is that constantly the dead bodies are burning here. Why? Because it is said that whoever is burnt here, whoever dies here, Lord Shiva chants the holy name Ram Ram into the ears of that person who is dying. So at the final moment, if you are hearing the names of the Lord Ram, then of course you will get the higher birth, and that too also from the mouth of a Lord Shiva. Then what to say of your destiny? You will get, of course, good birth. So people, the dead bodies burn in the Manikarnika Ghat. They have faith that Lord Shiva will come and he will chant the names of Lord Ram into the ears. So now this person was brought here, that businessman was brought here, and when he saw that so many dead bodies are being burned, being cremated, he started crying. Now the sadhu was thinking, I think this person has learned the lesson that everything is exhaustible. सब कुछ खत्म होने वाला है, सब कुछ छोड़ के जाना है एक दिन. So I was thinking like that कि ये businessman सोच रहा है, this businessman is thinking कि I will also have to leave everything. Why I have wasted my time in this world? Why I have wasted time in doing many business? Everything I have to keep here only and then go to some another planet. I have wasted my time. I have wasted my life. So Sadhu asked, why are you crying, man? So what answer he was expecting? Sadhu was expecting the repetitive answer. He was expecting that I have wasted my life. I should have done bhakti much before. But what answer he got? The businessman said, I have wasted my life because I should have done the business of wood, not of cloth. Till the time I have done the business of cloth, and I am not so rich. But if I would have done the business of wood, I would have been multimillionaire. So मरते टाइम भी वो पैसे का ही सोच रहा था. So this is the power of asakti. You cannot think of your superior benefit, your ultimate benefit. You cannot think of that. Right? That's why we have to give that asakti. And Bhagavad Gita teaches us how to do that step by step. See, no one is telling you that give up your home, give up your kids. No. Please, don't take Gita in a wrong way. So, don't just judge the first lesson that, asakti is bad, attachment is bad, leave everything and go to Badrinath and Himalaya. No. So, Bhagavad Gita speaks about Karma Yoga, right? Performing your duties very well, right? Without being attached to the fruits. Karmannevadhikaraste, right? So we'll see that step by step. But the first lesson is, don't be so attached. Don't be so attached. Till the time you are attached, you will not progress on the spiritual path, right? Because when the fish is caught up in the net, it cannot go ahead. Similarly, the person who is caught up in the luxuries of this material world, till the time he is so attached to the things he is possessing, he will not able to proceed on the way of spirituality. So first lesson is, I have given a wonderful name, material attachment restricts our spiritual advancement. So this is our first lesson, and this was our first verse. What did my sons and Pandavas do? So me and mine. This is mine, this is yours. Me and mine. This tendency, the tendency of the attachment is not going to help us to go ahead in our spiritual life. Thank you. If you have some questions, kindly ask in the comment box. We will stop here.